All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Let a few more people join, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We'll call this meeting to order at 8:02 a.m. As usual, moving on to public comment. We've got three ways to comment, either email through this meeting or by phone call. All three are applicable. We will take those and include them in the public record for public comment. At this time, is there anybody on the call that would like to speak? All right, hearing none. We'll go ahead and move on to number 3, which is action items. Action items, as this is an advisory group, can just be done by consensus, or any opposition can just be noted, and any corrections may be applied as well. So the only action item we've got on the agenda today is approval of minutes for October 16th, 2023. Are there any comments or corrections related to the meeting minutes from October 16th? Anyone? Nothing? Are there any opposed, or do I have a consensus vote to approve these meeting minutes?
Motion to approve Brandon Martingano.
Thank you, Brandon. Any opposition or any other comments or considerations for these minutes? If not, we will consider them approved. All right, we will go ahead and move forward. Number 4, under reports and presentations. I'm not sure if we do. Is there any representative online yet from the city of Sarasota?
Yes, Ryan. This is Dennis.
Great, Dennis. Thanks for being here. If you'd like, you can go ahead and, if you've got something to share, you can go ahead and share your screen. I believe our staff can take care of that on your end, and I can stop sharing the agenda.
No, that's fine. It's just
Okay.
just update
Update.
on
Gotcha.
where we were at from October.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Our TAPSL ACV project, we did receive the controllers. We're pretty much substantially complete with that project. We do have a few map files that we're still adjusting, and continuing to work with Vibe to get the after study done.
Great.
The cabinet upgrade project, we pretty much put that on hold because the DOT APL contract it's a little difficult to purchase cabinets without the contract. So since it just got approved last week, we're going to continue back, put that project back in motion. And I believe, what else do we have on there? The fiber projects.
Yep.
I am meeting on Thursday with my consultant for that. And the plan is to have that project completed by the end of December.
Great. Yeah, and I know we had gotten, the city had also, I know, submitted for future funding for future phases of that CAV as well. So I know those will be brought back into consideration in this funding cycle. So we're glad to hear that there's progress being made on that front. And as always, you know, we're here to help support and move these things forward, working with the department on that. So we appreciate the updates.
And we appreciate the support. We did apply for the FHWA Saving Lives Through Technology to help with that, move that project forward. No updates as of yet.
Awesome. Yeah. And as always, yeah, I know the discretionary grant stuff can be difficult to traverse as well. And we're happy to either write letter support. We've done that in the past, as well as work with you all on getting those acquired. So that's good to hear.
Yep. The only thing I have to add to that is we also applied for a hazard mitigation grants for signal replacements. And they are going to FEMA federal, should be this month for approval. So we got 2.7 million from FEMA to upgrade 3 span wire intersections to mast arms.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's always good. Making the roadways and the infrastructure more resilient out there is always helpful, especially getting back into season here. So
yeah, and those are complete projects. Are going to be cabinets, technology, everything, ADA, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, great. It's good to hear. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
And I know we've only got the city on here, but as always, if there's anyone else, any other jurisdictions, I know I see both counties, city of Palmetto. If there's any other updates that you all like to provide at this time, go ahead and either raise your hand or reach out and provide an update if you've got something you'd like to add. All right. Well, not hearing any, we'll go ahead and jump into our report. It's also somewhat brief, but I can give you an update on a few things that we've been working on. As always, we keeping the US 41 transit signal priority demonstration moving forward. It's currently working through its way through DOT, through the procurement process. We did work with our liaison team in the last couple of weeks to approve a STIP amendment and TIP amendment to our TIP to move those funds into current year. So about $500,000 of our MPO funds to help support this effort while the procurement and the rest of the process is being completed. So that's good news. The project's moving forward into the demonstration level. The demonstration, I believe, is on a schedule of 12 to 18 months, something like that, and then determining the viability of that project along a more expansive corridor. So the length of US 41, for example, or any other major state corridors that might benefit from this technology. So that project is moving forward. Funding is in place for the demonstration. I just wanted to keep you apprised of that. In terms of the congestion management process and the ITS elements within, as you know, back in 2021, we did an update to the CMP that incorporated TSM&O elements, as well as identified specific corridors and some implementation strategies for each of those. That has been included. The CMP is slated to be completed by June 30th, obviously pending any scrivener's errors or comments made by the jurisdictions related to any kind of elements they'd like to see. We're working through the final draft of the report now with the consulting team. Also within this CMP, the TSM&O and ITS elements were revisited and reevaluated based on new criteria and new data provided in this update. So the 30 segments that were in there previously have been updated, and corresponding implementation strategies have also been incorporated. So that will be available to you all and within the next 15, 20 days for evaluation and further comment. And that will be formalized and in consent agenda in September by the board. So with that, I will happily take any questions on the efforts that the MPO is undertaking related to TSM&O at this time. All right, not hearing any, I will go ahead and turn it over to FDOT. I see that Stephen and Mark are on the line, so I can stop sharing my screen if you'd like to share as well.
All right, you might want to mention the follow-up study.
Sure. For which one, Dave?
Well, for the CMP, we are going to be doing a barrier island follow-up
Yeah,
study.
yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's a direct follow-up of the CMP, but there will be a follow-up of DOT's Barrier Island traffic study and looking at implementation directly in some of our barrier islands and expanding beyond just the Ringling Causeway and Ringling Roundabout and the Ringling Bridge. We're looking at further going south down through Lido, Siesta, and down to Minnesota. So doing a full implementation strategy for all barrier islands, not just those north of St. Armand Circle. So that is
Probably a fairly big TSM&O component.
yeah, correct, and also other congestion mitigation and evaluation ongoing within that study as well. So that has been slated and budget has been added into our UPWP in the next 2 years to evaluate and implement that project as well. So that is what we've got for the MPO report. So at this point, we can go ahead and move on to the FDOT report.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Let me share my screen here. There we go. And just a heads up, I think the city of Sarasota is doing a study through the St. Armands area as well, like a PD&E design combo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and ours is really looking at being, it's probably more general than that. So
okay.
happy to coordinate with the city on that as well, and obviously take into account any recommendations that they're making.
Cool. Can you see my screen? Should be a presentation there.
Yep, we got you.
Yep, we see it.
All right. So good morning, everyone. You guys all know us. Mark's joining us this morning. Jumping right into project updates. So first on the slate is the US 41 ATS PM upgrade. This is a project to provide upgraded controllers and detection for ATS PM capability. Originally, this was, I believe, 8 or 9 intersections. We had to scale it back to 5 due to cost increases, but you can see the individual locations there on the map that are still included in the scope. The NTP has been issued to the contractor, which is HSD, and they're beginning the equipment procurement process now. So that project's moving forward. The specific intersections will be 17th, 26th, Cortez, State Road 70, 53rd, and then Bayshore Gardens, just as a refresher. We have requested additional funding through our D1 work program to get those additional intersections funded as well. Don't have super high hopes that that'll move forward, but ask and ye shall receive. So we're trying to push that ahead. Next is an I-75 ADMS project at State Road 64 and State Road 70. We've got finalized concept plans being put together now. This is going to be a design build, and it's planned to let next March. Originally, this included several other interchanges as well. Again, continued cost increase challenges, we decided to focus on 64 and 70 due to those projects recently being completed, and avoiding any other ongoing construction projects further to the south. But this will be on either side of I-75. We do have a T-Pass project, truck parking availability system, kicking off at the south side of the Skyway rest area. If you're familiar, it's up here. There's a small truck parking area up there that will be slightly expanded, but T-Pass will be expanded with it. The final plans are in review now, and it's going to be a design bid build let to construction in January of 25. Mark Roberts has been working on this project with District 7, making sure that their preferences are accounted for as well, because they do operate the site, but it's technically in District 1 boundaries. But so that project's moving forward. Next up, Sarasota County. Dennis gave his update for the City of Sarasota CV project earlier, the TAPS LA that he mentioned, so I won't go into too much detail there, but happy to hear that's nearing completion. The dirt technology that he's using, if you guys are not familiar with it, is pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with that. Computer analytics and vision processing in the cabinet. B-Ridge Smart Signals. Happy to report integration is nearing completion here with TransCore. They've almost got everything integrated into the cabinets. This will include connected vehicle, RSU units, and ATS-PM level detection along the length of the corridor from 41 to 75, 14 intersections. This will be one of our first connected vehicle projects to come online that Dan Presler has been working with central office on to feed into our statewide data exchange program. And they've already integrated some of these units into the RSU health monitoring system. It's a system that central office devised and was developed by Kira Solutions to give us live reporting on the health of these connected vehicle locations so that they can troubleshoot in real time, see what's going on, see what messages we're receiving, and provide better service. So excited to get that one online, and moving forward, it'll be cool to see how that information flows. Next up, we have Fruitville, State Road 780. This project is another CV ATS-PM project. It's a candidate construction project in 27, but we have selected a designer and be issuing an NTP soon. Vibe was the selected consulting firm for this project. And we're kind of like moving down the list of priorities here. I think what we had discussed before, we started with Bee Ridge as a pilot project, but we're hitting Fruitville and then kind of working our way south from priority standpoint. And then the same on 41 from Wood to Siesta Drive. That's number 7 there on the map. Same scope. Also a candidate for 26. And Vibe is a selected designer for that one as well. I guess for these two, we'll need to work with you, Ryan, and Dave to see how we can help push construction forward. We go through a 12 to 18 month design process, but hopefully we can get some support to move construction forward as well, with the MPO and with D1 work program.
Yeah, we've spoken directly with our liaison staff, both Christy and Pam and Wayne, and have mentioned that highly, that if we do have additional box funds available, that these would remain a top priority for the MPO, and that we will be happy to support these projects going forward.
He wanted
Awesome.
us to subsidize resurfacing on I-75 and elsewhere, and we said no, that's not in our long-range plan. But support for TSM&O is a huge part of what we can do. We're not doing a lot of big capacity projects. So I have one suggestion. When I think some of this will get presented to our board at some point, I would show the moving forward projects in green instead of red, because red is associated with congestion and, stopping and slowing down, versus these projects will help keep traffic going. It's a minor visualization concept, but we do that in our UPWP. We used to use red to highlight things, and somewhere along the way we figured, we don't want to show red in that finance report.
Red bad. Gotcha. Green good.
Yeah, and I'll also say, Stephen, you'll note, we'll get you the copy of the CMP once it's finalized here, and you'll know it's consistent with these current implementations. Those are noted in the CMP as well as funding future phases of them, and it's recognized to utilize both discretionary funds, as you're probably going to get to number 9 there, as well as formula funds based out of the MPO. So that's good to see, and we're happy to help support that.
Awesome. The number 8 there is the southern half of 41. Currently, lower on the totem pole, but working our way south on priorities. I'm sure we'll get there, like we just discussed with prioritizing funds. And then State Road 72 as well. As you guys know, the interchange is under construction. There is a 3R job slated for 72 that we requested grant funding approval for, but it was rejected this go around. From what we're hearing, the plan was to submit again for that funding as well. Our ITS components are fully incorporated as a part of that larger project. So hopefully if that grant gets approved, the ITS will go along with it. And then the last project there we're tracking has been undertaken by Sarasota County, the Honore project. They've started equipment purchasing, but we haven't tracked it too closely. I don't know if anybody is on from the county that knows anything about how that's going, but we are kind of just following along. All right. We talked about the US 41 TSP. Ryan spoke about that before, the STIP-TIP amendment. As soon as that is approved, we'll support helping moving that forward. Southwest Florida I-75 frame. We did submit for the last NOFO. Fortunately, it was rejected. It was our first go around with that one. So we had some lessons learned and some tweaks that we made to that application. It has been resubmitted for the latest NOFO. It's in central office now for their approval and review. And the deadline to submittal to Federal Highway is July 12th. So we've been told by central office, because we had a previous submittal, that that should pretty much streamline that request this time around. So don't anticipate any speed bumps there, but that'll be going in. And typically it's, 2 to 3 months after submittal that we find out whether or not it was selected. So we'll hear back from that, I guess, September, October, probably early October. So, and if you're not familiar with that, we're proposing some connected vehicle and detection elements along the length of 75, basically from 275 all the way down to Naples. So it's quite expansive. Last LRE I saw was in excess of $20 million for that ask. But we've got high hopes. We'll see how it goes. Other updates, master plan update. We were considering doing a Sarasota Manatee TSM&O master plan, ATMS master plan update, actually ourselves, but maybe focusing it in on certain corridors. And this was kind of geared around a request that came from Manatee County, from Vishal and Aaron, with concerns about availability of controllers with the current vendor and some of the obstacles they run into. So we thought it would be a good time to revisit that ATMS plan and see if it's time to change direction. So Kat is developing a scope for a task for our continuing services consultant to open that up. If you guys have any comments or ideas on the scope, I'm sure she'll be reaching out soon to get your thoughts on what should be incorporated. It'll be kind of economized, if you will. It's not going to be quite as broad as previous ones. Again, we're focusing on certain critical corridors. We're not focusing on ADA elements or things of that nature. It's kind of more high level. So more to come on that. And then lastly, I kind of alluded to it with the previous slides, but we are continuing to see some district and state funding challenges with our resurfacing program taking priority. A lot of the TSM&O and ITS elements that normally would be incorporated into projects, particularly in 3R jobs, have been removed. And that's currently the stance of district leadership. I do know that they're continuing to have meetings to prioritize needs and make some hard decisions on what needs to be done. But moving forward, I think we're going to continue to need to be creative and work together to try to keep moving some of our highest priority items forward. I think, if we can make a good case for what we want to do, which, the benefit cost for TSM&O elements is high, we shouldn't have an issue with the MPO or with district leadership in trying to move forward very limited high priority payoff projects. So Mark, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that from a leadership perspective, but just continuing to make lemonade out of lemons here for the foreseeable future, at least the next couple of years.
No, I think you did a great job describing that, Stephen. Yeah, we're having a little tough time, although we're building a record amount of projects, capital projects. It's just affording all those projects is taking up a lot of the money where TSM&O and some other items come from.
All right, Ryan, that's all I have. If there's
Great.
any questions for DOT.
I just had one. I did just receive an email, I think last week, regarding the ITS architecture. I just wanted to mention that as a maintenance update for this year. I know that's been sent out. Hopefully everyone in the meeting received that. So if you get that back, any comments you've got related to the ITS architecture, any updates related to the work that we've been doing, that would be helpful so that they have an updated picture of what's going on out there. No, I didn't have any other questions, and I just wanted to allude to the point that yes, we've had the same conversations with work program staff and liaison staff regarding funding challenges for these project types. And we remain, fairly steadfast in our support of those. We continue to think that the cost of going back and redoing something after it's been done, whether it's a pop project or something like that, is substantially higher than doing it all at one time. And I think Dave and I will continue to voice that message that doing those in hand with one another at the same time is much more cost beneficial than it is to go back and refinish those things afterwards. So whether or not the message is heard from us, we'll continue to state that. We believe that these are high value, as you mentioned, high value projects that come at a relatively low cost in comparison to some of these large scale capital bridge capacity type improvements. Those are very expensive, and the benefits have not fully been determined. Some of those capacity improvements, we'll see the capacity be used almost immediately upon opening. So utilizing the funds that we have available to us to do these high value projects is certainly important. So we'll remain in your corner on that and continue to help out where we can with our funding as well.
And I will add to that, I think there's a little bit of hope on the horizon for central office funding. We did get word from them for project requests for 2030 to 2035. So it's a ways out. And we are brainstorming some ideas now to send them some candidates. It seems like there'll be a decent amount of funding available. So we definitely want to have some projects on the shelf ready to go for when the time comes. So.
Yep, absolutely. Try to remain as prepared as possible. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, Dave?
Oh, I was at a meeting last week with the MPOs from the west coast of Florida all the way over to the east coast, and apparently in the US 27 to Kissimmee expansion of I-4, which was slated to end up with 3 general use lanes and 2 express lanes. They've now determined, and it was announced by the governor, that they will be building 4 general use lanes within that expansion project. And they've also sped up the project timeline. So, that's good news for that corridor, but clearly the rest of us are paying for it. So that's just one item. And I did see Ryan's question about the adaptive signals down in Venice. They've been asking for those for a long time. I don't know, if those are in the works. We don't want to forget Venice and Northport areas, because Northport's our single largest population-wise community. And I think that they're gonna, in time, and I know Anthony's on the call, probably want to be aggressive like the city of Sarasota. Nick's on the call too, where they are wanting to jump in and help make some of these things happen for their parts of the region. And discretionary grant applications, especially ones that have a regional approach like TSM&O, where we're looking at systems, can be successful if we all work together. We think they can be successful. Hopefully they can be. Thanks. Anything on Venice?
I was just going to ask if we had like a project application for the Venice project. I'm not familiar with that one, but we can start tracking that.
Yeah, no, and I did mention that in the chat that we can work with the county and obviously you all as well on that. If that is a priority that we need to look at addressing, then certainly we can incorporate that into our priority list. And as we're doing these, and the last thing I'll mention on that is as Dave mentioned, any projects that are out there that you think you want to evaluate or do in the next 10 years, make sure when we're in this process of updating the LRTP that we'll have recommendations coming out of the CMP of where we think those are. So please give feedback on that so that we can coordinate with the department effectively and say that we'll have a balance between local and state facilities. So obviously we'll help kind of address some of the local stuff, and the state will we'll supplement and support the state where we can on the state facilities. However, yeah, let's make sure we've got all of those projects that we think that are out there on the horizon that we want to look at doing, incorporated in our LRTP. We don't want to have to go back and make amendments right away to that process. So, yeah, I don't have anything additional right now unless anybody else does.
One final update, I guess,
Sure.
for Vishal, just a heads up. We did receive you guys system engineering documents for the Manatee EVP last week, so we'll start reviewing those probably this week.
I think CAD had already reviewed, provided comments, so this is the final submittal. Are you saying
Well, yeah.
another round of comments?
Well, yeah, I guess it's the final review of the final. So,
Okay, thanks.
Stephen, Ryan, I just wanted to put out there, if anyone wants access to that DIRC data for any of their projects, just reach out to me and I can get you access into our DIRC system, our dashboard. It does have some pretty good heat maps for safety stuff. It does counts. It does all kinds of stuff that may help other projects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to see anything that's, verifiable like that shows good information will certainly be useful, I think, for future projects.
Yeah, and it is our core 16 intersections all the way around. So it's got some 301,
Great.
some 41. So
Good.
like I said, just
Yeah.
reach out to me and I'll get you
Absolutely.
access.
Great. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
thank you, sir.
All right. I think all I've got left here is once around the table. So as always, we have the opportunity here. If you've got anything you'd like to add or any other future comments, please let us know. Let's go ahead and go around once the table. You can raise your hand or just go ahead. I don't think we've got a ton of comments out there left.
Hey, good morning. Nick Patel, just wanted to say that I'll pass it on to Dennis to kind of give an update of what we've been doing in the city of Sarasota, just a high level update. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dennis. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. We've already gone through that. One other thing, Camden is no longer with us.
Okay.
So it will be Nick and myself for these meetings. Anything high level can go to Nick. Anything's project specific. I'll be glad to help anything anybody needs.
Great. Thank you. We'll make sure we're directing to the right people.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? All right. Not hearing anything else today. I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 8:38. And as always, reach out if you've got any questions or comments, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.